Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how you can configure the LCD menu of your Ender-3 Pro in your local language. Here I'm using the Wolof language. Wolof is one of the most widely used language in Senegal. It is also a highly mixed language because you can find terms originating from French, English, German, Arabic, Spanish, Russian, and even ancient Egyptian languages. If you want to know more about the Wolof language, you can click the links in the description below. Stay tuned and I will show you how I do that. In this first step, I'm going to create the file language_wo.h for the Wolof language. For that, I browse my Marlin folder and I go to Marlin src lcd language. In this folder, I have all the files that have been created for the different languages available on the Ender-3 Pro. Now I select one of the files. For example, here I choose language_fr.h for the French. I copy the file and then I paste it. Now I rename the file to language_wo.h for the Wolof. Now I can open the file. And then on this line, namespace language_fr, I replace the fr by wo. Here also, instead of French, I will write Wolof. And now I translate in Wolof all the terms between quotation marks here. I should precise that only the terms between quotation marks should be translated in Wolof or in the local language. Now I translate all the terms and I can save the file and close it now. That's all for this file language. Here you have the name language_wo. Here you have Wolof for the name of the language. And here you have all the terms that have been translated into Wolof. That is all the terms that are between quotation marks. Now the second step is to create the data file named langdata_wo.h for the Wolof language. I open the folder Marlin src dogm font data, and here I have all the data files for the different languages. I open, for example, the file langdata_fr.h, which is for the French. Now on this line, we have font_info_fr for the French. Now I just replace the fr by wo for Wolof. That's the only modification in this file. Now I can save it and close it, and I name it langdata_wo.h, and here is the file that has been created. We can open it to check. As you can see here, the fr was replaced by wo. Now I can close the file. Now if you have on your Ender-3 Pro a standard LCD display, you can jump to step 4. But if you have a TFT display, you can continue to the next step. In this step, we are going to modify the file named tft_multilanguage.h. Now I open the folder Marlin src lcd extui mks_ui. Now in this folder I open the file tft_multilanguage.h, and here just after the pragma ones there are other lines that are used to define the different languages. Now I add the line #include tft_language_wo.h, and this line is for the Wolof. To make it easy, I can just copy and paste this line, then I replace the _fr by _wo. Now I jump a few lines down and I go inside the void this_language_init. And here we have all these lines for the different languages available on my printer. The last line here, for example, is for Portuguese. I can copy and paste the line. Now instead of 13, I put 14. Then instead of Portuguese, I write Wolof. And that's all for this line. Now I jump again few lines down and I look for tab-def struct language_menu. I look for the variables that are in charge of the languages. Here they are. The last line here is for Spanish. I can copy and paste this line. Then I replace _sp by _wo. And then the word Spanish is replaced by Wolof. Now I search for the second variables for the languages. Here they are. Now I add the line const char star Wolof for the Wolof language. And we are done with this file. Now I can save it and close it. Still in the same folder, I open the file tft_multilanguage.cpp and I look for the void this language in it. I can use the research tool of my text editor. Here it is in this void. Now I search for the block of code with the language names. Here is the block of code. Now I can copy and paste this line. Now instead of French, I will replace it by Wolof, and instead of _fr, I will put _wo for the Wolof. Now I can move few lines down. Here, for example, we have the case for the Russian language. This is for Spanish, etc. Now I select any of the cases. For example, the French. Here I copy the whole block of text concerning the French language. Now to avoid errors, I suggest to copy and paste the block of code in another file in your text editor. Here it is. I have my new file. Now I replace _fr by _wo in the whole text. I can use the research and replace tool of my text editor. I should also precise that this is case sensitive, so make sure that you put the capitals in capitals and the lower cases in the lower cases. Now on the first line, instead of French, I will write Wolof. Now I check if everything is correct. Okay, everything seems to be good. Now I select and copy the whole text. I go back to the file, then I paste the whole text. And here is the block of code for the Wolof language. Now I can save the file and close it. Still in this folder, I open the file pic_manager wolof.cpp. This is for the pictures. With the research tool, I search for the term if has underscore lang underscore select underscore screen. As you can see, for each language there are two lines. For example, here for the Italian we have bmp underscore italy.bin and bmp underscore italy underscore cell.bin. For the French we have bmp underscore french.bin and bmp underscore french underscore cell.bin. Now I will add similar lines for the Wolof language, and for that I can just copy and paste one of the languages and change the terms. And here I have my two lines, bmp underscore wolof.bin and bmp underscore wolof underscore cell.bin. That's all for this file. Now I can save it and close it. Now I open the file draw underscore language.cpp. Now I move few lines down inside the switch. As you can see, for each language where there is a case, for example here we have case ID underscore cn, this is for Chinese. Here we have case ID underscore en for the English language. And here we have case ID underscore fr for the French language. Now I can copy this block of code for the French language and I paste it in a new file. Then the fr, I replace it by wo for Wolof. I look for the word French and I replace it by Wolof. Here also it is case sensitive. You should pay attention to that. Now I need to check that everything is okay. Here we have button fr. I replace it by button wo for the Wolof language. Now everything is correct. I can copy it. I can copy the whole text. Then I go back to my file, and then after the block of code concerning the French, I paste the new block of code concerning the Wolof language. Here it is, the block of code for the Wolof language. Now I can save and close the file. Now in the same folder, I will need to create another file named tft underscore language underscore wo.h for the Wolof language. For that I can select, for example, the file tft underscore language underscore fr.h. I copy and paste it. Then I rename it tft underscore language underscore wo.h. Now I open the file, and as you can see, we have all these terms between quotation marks. I will have to translate all these terms in Wolof. After that, I can save and close the file, and we are done for this step. We have created all the files and done all the configurations necessary for the choice of the language. Now it becomes very simple, because we will need just to change the configuration file to change the language. Let's see how we do that. Now we open Visual Studio Code and we browse for our folder and we open our project. Now we look for the file Configuration.h. Now I search for the term lcd underscore language, and here it is on this line. We just need to replace the fr by wo, and here it is. We have lcd underscore language WO, and that's all for this file. Now I can save with Ctrl S. Now I open Auto Build Marlin. For the environment, I choose Melody Optimize, and now I click on Build. Now we're waiting for the build process to finish. There we are. As you can see, with the green line, success, my firmware has been successfully created. Now I click on the File Explorer to have the list of files. Then I go to .pio, then Build, and then Melody Optimize. I look for my firmware, and here it is. I right click on the file and I click on Reveal in the Explorer, and here is my file. I can copy it on my desktop. There it is. Now we need to upload the firmware in the Ender-3 Pro, and for that we're going to plug our printer. Now I can take the USB cable and plug it in the printer, then in the USB port of my computer. As you can see here, the display is in English. Here we have info screen, motion, temperature, etc. Everything is in English. Now on my computer, I open Xloader. I click here to browse my file, and here is my file firmware.x. I click it, then I click on open. I choose the printer here. I select the COM port to which my printer is connected. Here, for example, on my computer, it is on port COM12. For the baud rate, I leave it at 115/200, which corresponds to the baud rate in the configuration of my printer. Now I click upload and I wait. As you can see here, it is uploading. It shows Marlin 2.2.0.9.2. Now we're waiting for the upload to finish. Okay, as you can see, the uploading is finished. Now I can unplug my printer, and now if you look carefully on the display here, you can see now that it is in Wolof. Here we have, for example, Watu, Doh, Tangor, and so on. Everything is now displaying in Wolof. Here, for example, we have Doh, which corresponds to movement. And if we enter this menu, we see Tohal Galan for move axis. Here we have Tohal X for move X axis. Now I'm going to try. For example, I move the X axis. Here we have Tohal Z for move Z axis. Here we have Delo Bopong, which means auto home. When I click on it, all the axes will be homed. Now we're going to look at another option. We choose, for example, Jubantil Lalbi, which means level the bed. Kawai Lalbi, it's the level of the bed here. As you can see, it displays Skir XYZ. It means auto home X, Y, Z. Here we have Chokal Girtambli. It means click to begin. And when I click, it displays now Tomu Bichitop, which means the next point. And as you can see, when I click, it moves to the next point. Here we have Parina Jubanti, which means the leveling is done. Now I can store the settings by clicking on the term denc tëralin here, which means store settings. Here we have Jubanti lal bi tàkk na, which means that the leveling is on. Here we have yep tëralin, which means load settings. Here we have taxawal jumtukaay yi, which means stop the steppers. For example, here as you can see, I cannot move the bed because the stepper motors are active. Now if I click on taxawal jumtukaay, which means stop the stepper motors, now as you can see, I can move the bed freely. We go back to the main menu. Here we have the menu tàngoor, which means temperature. Here xellikaay, it means hot end. Lal, it means the bed. Gaawaay ëppukaay, it means speeds of the fan. And tàngal PLA here, which means preheat PLA. And when I click preheat tàngal PLA, which means preheat PLA, you see here the PLA is heating. We're going to look for another option, for example, tëralin, which means configuration. Tëralin bu xóot here, it means advanced settings. Here we have jéego which means steps per millimeter. When I click, you see we have x jéego millimeter, which means steps per millimeter for x. Y jéego millimeters, I can change. Now we have tàngoor for temperature. Here we have tàngal boppam fay, which means that the auto temperature is off. If I click, we have tàngal boppam tàkk, which means the auto temperature is active. Now I go back to the previous menu. Here we have yeggali mool tàkk. It means that the power loss recovery is active. If I click fay, it means inactive, and now I leave it on tàkk, which means active. Here we have xibaaru moolukaay bi, that is the information about the printer. Here we have xibaaru moolukaay bi, that is about the printer itself. For example, here we have the name, the firmware, and so on, the number of extruders. Buuxukaay 1, it means 1 extruder. Here we have xibaari carte bi, which means information about the board. As you can see here, we have Melzi, board 150 and 200. Here Manco 1.0, it's the protocol 1.0. Mbëcc is PSU. Natkaay tàngoor, here that's the thermistors. Here we have génne STB, which means to unload the SD card. Dugal STB, it is attach the SD card. Molli ci STB, that is print from the SD card. Here we have yes, which means refresh. When I click on this file, for example, you see Tambali Mall, which means begin printing, and we have the name of the file to print. Here we have Buy, which is stop, and More, which is print. Now if I click on More, which means print, you see it is printing. Here we have Xaarandi More, which means stand by. Bàyyi More, that is stop the print. Jagal, it is tune. If I click on Xaarandi More, the printing is pause, and as you can see, it displays the Xaarandi, which means pause. If I click again, the print should start. Now to discard the printing, I can just click on Bàyyi More. Now it asks the question Bàyyi More, that is stop print, and Dellu, it means return, and Bàyyi, confirm. Now I click on Bàyyi. As you can see, it displays Bàyyi nañu mool, which means the printing has been stopped. This is roughly for this Ender-3 Pro in your local language, here particularly in Wolof, which is language in my country. Hope this video will be useful to you. Please do not hesitate to like and share the video, and also subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bells. Thank you.